Welcome in, everyone. We have more news out of the Israel-Iran war. It appears Iran is making moves to try to save the regime from total and utter collapse as Israeli strikes continue to be unrelenting, overwhelming, and smashing of any and all targets the Israelis can find out in the open. That includes military gear, that includes military hardware, planes, helicopters, ballistic missile sites, ballistic missile launchers, as well as human targets such as scientists and military leaders. It is a gloves-off war, and it appears Iran is on the brink. The Iranian regime is on the brink of collapse and scrambling to try to get something done before the government goes down entirely. We're going to talk about all that and much more, but before we do, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe, comment with your thoughts below. That's huge. It costs you guys nothing. It helps really boost us. Hit that bell so you never miss a video. You'll be the most informed people on YouTube. We don't want you guys to miss a thing. Now, let's get into it. As we all know, the war is continuing to rage between Israel and Iran, and we have fast-moving things that are happening, and we are currently in a very fluid situation, and that includes attempts by Iran to end the barrage that has been brought down on them. As I made a video earlier today, I'm filming this on June 19th, so this is an update on June 19th. If you're watching this later, this is what was going on at that time. Iran was able to land multiple missiles in Israel and cause significant damage. Hundreds of people were injured, but it is still nothing compared to the decapitation strategy that the Israelis have run against the Iranian regime and the Iranian military. We have a lot to go through here, but before we get into most of it, President Trump addressed the media in the Oval Office talking about the state of the war and where we see things now. Let's go ahead and roll that clip for everyone right now.
Started the first night. I mean, that first night was devastating, and it really knocked the one side off, as you know. It was a devastating evening, day. And it's pretty much proceeded that way. I have a meeting in the war room in a little while, situation room, as some people call it. So we're going to meet. We're going to see. We're in the midst of it's a terrible thing. I hate to see it. I hate to see all that death, so much death and destruction. But death primarily is what I hate to see.
Does that mean you haven't made a decision yet on what to do?
I have ideas as to what to do, but I haven't made a final. I like to make the final decision 1 second before it's due, because things change. I mean, especially with war, things change with war. It can go from one extreme to the other. War is very bad. There was no reason for this to be a war. There was no reason for Russia, Ukraine. A lot of wars there was no reason for. You look right up there. I don't know. See the Declaration of Independence, and I say, I wonder if the Civil War. It always seemed to me maybe that could have been solved without losing 600,000 plus people. So a lot of, it's very sad to see. It's very sad to see what's happening. But with that being said, I would say right now, Israel, from the standpoint of winning a war, is doing pretty well. Yeah, please.
So that right there was President Donald Trump talking about the state of the war and not letting anyone know whether or not he is going to strike or not. We're going to get into that a little bit later in the video, some information that has since come out. But what's really important now is Iran seems to be behind the scenes begging for some kind of surrender deal. They are begging for the bombing to stop, but Israel has been adamant that they will continue until all their military objectives are met, and the nuclear program has been completely dismantled, and that includes the Fordo underground uranium enrichment facility. And just how desperate are the Iranians right now? Well, they're actually reaching out to President Donald Trump. I'm going to throw this up here on the screen for you. They are reaching out to President Donald Trump, demanding to take a meeting at the White House to get him to call the Israelis off. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy to believe that President Donald Trump, who was part of the Israeli plan, will now meet with the Iranians to save them from the barrage that is happening at the hands of the Israelis. But there's more to it. I'm going to throw this up on the screen for you all right here. It says, Reuters report, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi have held several phone calls since Israel began striking Iran last week. Oh, I'm getting new information as we're filming this. Now Iran is saying that They denied wanting a White House meeting, so that's what the White House is saying Iran is. But back to this. Witkoff and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi have held several phone calls since Israel began striking Iran last week, aiming to find a diplomatic resolution of the crisis, 3 diplomats told Reuters. The diplomats, speaking on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the talks, said Araghchi made it clear that Tehran would not return to negotiations unless Israel halted its attacks. So they are on the phone with the U.S. trying to get some kind of deal. And if they were winning this war, if they were actually crushing Israel, as some people want you to believe, which is not true, but if they were, why would they be on the phone so desperate to reach some kind of deal with the U.S., so desperate to reach some kind of deal to call the pressure off? The reality is they're losing, and now they want to surrender while saving face. The Israelis and, frankly, the United States have no interest in a surrender deal until all the military goals are met, and they're not there yet. The Fordo facility remains intact and untouched. Speaking of which, what is Trump going to do with the Fordo facility and what problems might he face? Let's get into that right now. As we all know, all eyes remain on President Donald Trump and whether or not he will formally enter the war against Iran on the side of Israel and what will happen next. I can report to you right now, this is confirmed, that the president has been briefed on multiple different options and plans for the United States to get involved in the war. I'll repeat that for everyone. The president, I can report, has been briefed on specific war plans and what those war plans will look like. Most likely, of course, these briefings are classified, we don't know, but most likely he's been briefed on using the B-2 stealth bomber to drop 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs on the Fordo uranium enrichment facility. But he's been briefed. The options have been laid out in front of him. I'm going to throw this up on the screen now because there is a bit of an issue, and that is debates about the bomb, the GBU-57. It says, Trump has suggested to defense officials it would make sense for the U.S. to launch strikes against Iran only if the so-called bunker-busting bomb was guaranteed to destroy the critical uranium enrichment facility at Fordo, according to people familiar with the deliberations. Trump was told that dropping the GBU-57, a 30,000-pound bomb, would effectively eliminate Fordo, but he does not appear to be fully convinced, the people said, and he has held off authorizing strikes as he also awaits the possibility that the threat of U.S. involvement will lead Iran to talks. The effectiveness of the GBU-57 has been a topic of deep contention at the Pentagon since the start of Trump's term. According to 2 defense officials who were briefed that perhaps only a tactical nuclear weapon. So the United States thinks we might need to use a nuke in order to get this underground facility, could be capable of destroying Fordo because of how deeply it is located. Trump is not considering using a tactical nuclear weapon on Fordo, and the possibility was not presented by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, in meetings in the White House Situation Room. 2 people with the film matter said. So that's where we're at. Trump has been briefed, and now there are debates about whether or not the GBU-57 can get the job done or not. And if it can't, we're going to enter a whole new world. If it can, it sounds like President Trump will move forward, and at that point, the Iranians' attempts to surrender will be meaningless, and it will be game over for them, and the regime will likely collapse not long after. So that's where we're at. Iran begging to surrender. The U.S. has presented, I can confirm to you, has presented President Donald Trump with attack plans, and now Trump is debating the effectiveness of the weapons we have. I am convinced the GBU-57, if you drop enough of them, at a minimum, create a tomb, essentially. At a maximum, destroy the Fordo facility. But we are on the brink, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the brink of the United States entering the war. And with Iran trying to surrender and nobody picking up the phone, it appears that their fate might be sealed. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you never miss a video. And as always, I'll catch you all next time.